Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, Nikki A. And today we are here for the review of the Real Housewives of Potomac, uh, season 7, episode 6. And so we're gonna get right into it because we have a lot to talk about, a lot to cover. So we are still at the winery. We are still at the burn session. And Ashley tells Candace that Chris has been in some other DMs that were not, or has sent some other DMs that were not quite as innocuous or innocent as hers. And I don't know if y'all noticed the glee on her face as she said those words. Ashley takes joy in this. Ashley absolutely takes joy in disrespecting Candace. She takes joy in it because she feels like she's getting her get back, though Ashley Candace has not done anything to you. Wendy is over it. Wendy is rolling her eyes. She's like, the mess is about to start. Can we not? Candace then tells Ashley that Michael likes to leave her and go to some man's name that they bleeped out house and give him extra oral curricular activity. And let me tell you something. The fact that they bleeped that man's name out means it's true. Okay. Ashley wanted to sit there and act like it wasn't true and deny it, and we'll get into that into a later scene of the episode. But girl, we know what it is. We know what we it's true. It's true. Michael likes to get out here, and do extra things on the side. And he's going to do it. He's going to continue to do it. And I think you realize that. And that's why you're trying to get this divorce. Okay. Karen is literally about to seize. Karen is freaking out. Okay. And then Ashley says, when I hear things about Michael, I process, I deal. You're not hearing.
What?
Ashley, when Candace came to you, it was in private and from an authentic place, which allowed you the environment to deal. You are being malicious with Candace, and therefore, Candace has no audience for anything coming out of your mouth. Furthermore, Candace knows her husband. You are still learning Michael, not when it comes to his sexual exploits, but as far as for how he deals with you, how he really values you, and what priority you have in his life. Because Michael is still lying to you about financial things. You think you have the upper hand, but you really don't. He's telling you LLCs have been created and they have not been, but we will get into that later on. Candace knows her husband. Okay? Candace says you come from a decrepit and disrespectful marriage. And then Ashley says, just remember that pendulum always swings the other direction. Actually, let me tell you something. The pendulum swings backward to the person who originally swung it. Candace didn't do anything to you. Michael did. You are actually swinging the pendulum at Candace first. So you need to be worried about what's coming back to you. That's what you need to be worried about. Candace then says in response to that, oh no, honey, we don't have that over here. We know the Lord. Now, I want to take a break real quick because I saw some people taking that response as Candace being homophobic.
Let me explain something to you.
Whoever, or homophobic, however you say it, whoever feels that from this scene is reaching. I'm going to be very honest with you. Reaching. Candace was saying her marriage is not decrepit and disrespectful due to their relationship with God. If she is allowed to feel that way, Chris is allowed to feel that way. That does not make her homophobic. That part was also said separate from her saying, because Chris ain't sucking no D's over here. She did not say Chris ain't sucking no D's in relation to their spiritual relationship or whatever you would like to call it. So we're not going to sit here and call this lady homophobic. I have watched a couple of reviews on the same episode for people who are a part of the LGBTQIA plus community. I'm sorry if I missed any letters or any symbols. There's a lot. I did my best. And neither of them called Candace out as being homophobic. So y'all can miss me. It's really giving. Tell me you don't like Candace without telling me you don't like Candace. Grow up. That's all I have to say. Anyways, we move on. At this point, Candace clears the table. Wendy says this is Wendy said, can we burn it? Can we burn it? The paper was already like, can we burn it? Can we burn it? Can we put it to ashes? Can we burn it?
I would like to see it.
And everybody gets up and disperses their separate ways. Ashley talks to Wendy and tells Wendy that she wanted to bring it up in front of Giselle because Candace was saying that Giselle was being phony, and she's saying this because she wants to be in front of the group.
What are you talking about, man?
That made no sense. That reason made no sense. Ashley, you brought it up in front of Giselle because you wanted to kiss Giselle's butt. You wanted you wanted to send the message to Giselle to let her know that you were on her side and that your lips were still available for kissing both of her butt cheeks. That is why you did it in front of Giselle. Again, Candace, yet another reason as to why you do not need to trust this lady. She took everything that you said in your own personal home and took it back to people who do not care about you and do not have your best interest in mind. So you need to do not give either of them, Robin, Mia, Ashley, or Giselle, any more chances. They don't deserve it. You can give them all the darkest part of your behind to kiss, as far as I am concerned. We move on. Ashley sits there and basically says that maybe Chris needs to check himself and say that maybe I'm too friendly. Even if he is too friendly, the man is not on camera grabbing up on people's behinds and SAing people. Nobody has taken Chris to court. Okay? There are no footages of Chris being inappropriate. Matter of fact, the footages of Chris are the exact opposite, but we will get to that in just a second. And Ashley was saying this since Mia and also Ashley's friend are saying these things about him, because apparently Ashley's friend came up to Ashley and was asking were her and Chris still together, and was, saying that Chris was being a little, extra toward her. Well, we've already seen the footages of Chris not looking at Mia, and we'll later see those footages of Ashley's friend and what's going on with that. But we already know Mia lied. So the fact that you want to put Mia in the mix of what's going on and use Mia like she's a credible source for Chris's behavior, girl, you can cut that out. You can really cut that out. We move on. We see that Candace wants to talk to Giselle one-on-one. Giselle asks her about The View, and Candace gives her the Nicki Minaj, the anyway, child.
Child. Anyway, so.
Like, yeah, it's cute. And I hollered. I said, Giselle, Candace is not featuring you. She's here to discuss business. She is not trying to enjoy the view with you. Okay? Candace says she wanted to be clear on her feelings and where she is with Giselle. She asks Giselle what made her specifically uncomfortable about the dressing room situation. And Giselle says basically that she was in a room with the door closed with a man that's not her. But whose fault is that, Giselle? It's your room. You knew that there was nobody in there before Chris got in there. So if you were uncomfortable, you could have said, I don't want to do this right now because there's nobody in here. Let's table this conversation for later. You didn't do that. Candace also says, or she clarifies on if Giselle is saying that Chris was the one who suggested the room. Giselle says yes. Candace says Chris suggested to talk, and Giselle suggested the room. Giselle says no, that's not true. Did y'all catch Giselle stuttering as she said that? She was like, no, 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 that's not true.
Oh, now you can't speak English.
What you stuttering for? Because you're lying. You're lying. Because you didn't expect. You didn't expect for that to get thrown back on you. She was stuttering at the fact when Candace says that it was Chris that suggested, well, if we can just keep the door open, because I don't want anybody saying anything either. That's when she stuttered. And I'm like, what happened? What happened, girl? Kitty Cat got your tongue. Robert's Kitty Cat got your tongue, girl. Because, and then Giselle tries to say, but if he said that, then that means that he knew that this was inappropriate. No, Giselle, that was your room, and you knew no one was in there. Again, like I said, if you felt that you were uncomfortable or you felt it was inappropriate, then you should not have invited him in. Candace was poking holes in your lie, and you decided to change the narrative. Because if he suggested to leave the door open, but it somehow ended up closed or it stayed closed, that means that you were okay with it being closed. You were not uncomfortable, ma'am. You were not uncomfortable being in a room alone with Chris. You got uncomfortable when he most likely checked your behind for the treatment of his wife, and you didn't like it, and now you want your get back. That's what you were uncomfortable with. Because you thought he was going to be all cutesy. You thought he was going to be all flirty because y'all had a decent relationship. Like, there was no beef between you and Chris. But Chris probably laid into you because you were coming at his wife disrespectfully, talking about if Mia had a popped Candace in the mouth, I would have been okay with that. No, ma'am. And you probably didn't like that this man gonna sit up here and let you, the light-skinned lady, have it over the dark-skinned lady. That's what you didn't like. And now you're upset, and you're in your white feelings, the white part of your feelings. And now you want your get back. Candace says that Giselle is implying malintent and is basically saying that the man tried to lure her into her dressing room. Giselle goes into white woman mode. I never said that. Clutching her pearls. I never said that word, Candace. I didn't say Lord. I never said that. Candace said it's implied. Because you do know, Giselle, you can say things without saying things. You can say you don't like somebody without saying you don't like somebody. Right? So, just like you can say that somebody did something to you without saying that somebody did something to you. It's implied. There's an underlying connotation of what it is that you're trying to communicate, and you're trying to be vague so that you have it easy out to say, well, I didn't say that. No. And I appreciate and I am proud of the way that Candace handled it. And I know a lot of people were like, I don't understand why Candace gave her audience pay Giselle dust. And I agree with that. However, Candace had to do what she had to do to get Giselle's side of the story, because she already talked with her husband. Chris has already laid everything out, detailed, all of that. Candace now had to come to the other side to get Giselle's side to match that up with what Chris is saying. She had to do her due diligence, and she had to do that. Candace was very calm. She was very cool. She was very collected. Her questions were very pointed. She didn't raise her voice. She didn't read. She didn't curse or anything like that. She was very factual. She was very about business, and I appreciate the way Candace handled that moment, even though she got emotional at the end. And that's just Candace's personality. Candace is very hurt because, she felt however it is she felt about Giselle, even though she should not have felt that way about Giselle, but she did. And also, Candace is upset. And she, like me, is one of those people that when you get upset, it comes out in a very emotional way, i.e. crying. So I'm not going to be at Giselle for that. Be mad at Giselle for that. Mad at Candace for that. I'm not going to be mad at Candace for that because I get it. I still think overall she handled herself well. Then we get back over to Ashley and Wendy, and Ashley says that I'm not vindictive. This narrative about me being vindictive is going to have to stop. Ashley, you are the very definition of vindictive. I looked up the definition. Having or showing a strong or unreasoning desire for revenge, which is exactly what you did to Candace at that table. Because if it was not about, if we look at how Candace did you, when that information, mind you, was documented information of Michael at a hotel room with somebody in his drawers, okay? And Candace came directly to you, privately to you with that information, which goes to show she was not trying to be vengeful or vindictive. You, on the other hand, had information, quote unquote, information about what Chris was doing. You could have called her, you could have texted her, you were in this lady's home. You claim you didn't get this information until after you left. I don't believe you. You had that information. You were jealous when you saw Candace's home and you wanted to do something to hurt her. Because you are jealous and you are insecure because you feel like this lady has more than you, and how dare she? How dare she be dark complected and have more than you? And you decided to hold that information until you had an audience, mainly Giselle. That is being vindictive. That is being vengeful. That is being vengeful, and that is what you are. She says her friend Deborah came up to her, like I previously mentioned, and asked if Candace and Chris are still together. Then, baby, bravo. Bravo did as Bravo does. Like so, like that. And rolled the footages. And Chris was in his phone. Deborah was at the bar doing something, and Chris was in his phone. And there was a nice amount of feet in between them. Keep that in mind. Feet. Not inches, feet in between the two of them. And Chris was in his phone the whole time. Bravo said, go back in and come back out with something else. We're not going to do this here. And I like that. Somebody on the production team likes Candace and Chris. And I'm not saying, they come with the footages, but it's the way these scenes are cut, and we're going to get into that in a little bit here. It's the way these scenes are cut. Bravo is giving y'all in between the lines. Somebody at Bravo is really trying to show y'all who Giselle, Ashley, Mia, and Robin are, and low-key Karen. But we're gonna get into Karen in a different video. I don't know if I'm gonna really get into Karen in this particular video. But they told Ashley to go back in and come back out with something else. Okay, and I hope they keep rolling the footage. And I cannot wait for the reunion. Because I hope it's more footage. And I feel like there may be footage of the conversation between Giselle and Chris. I feel like they're going to hold it to the reunion. Because I feel like I remember hearing Chris say to Giselle, hey, can we talk? Because I feel like there was a lot of back and forth going. And I feel like I remember hearing Chris say, hey, can we talk? And I feel like I remember Giselle saying, did you want to go to my room? And Chris was like, that's fine. I feel like there is audio. There might not be visual footage, but I feel like there's audio of that conversation. And I feel like they gonna roll it. They gonna roll it at the reunion, baby. Anywho, and Candace better be sitting next to Andy. If Candace is not sitting next to Andy, I'm gonna be on your DMs, and I'm going in on you. I'm coming at your neck. Specifically. I'm coming at your neck. If Candace is not sitting next to you on one side of the couch. I don't care who's sitting on the other side, but Candace better be on one side of the couch, and she better be right next to you, and I'm not playing. And if that means Giselle want to have an attitude and I'm not coming, if I'm not next to Andy, then send her home with her walking papers, okay? We move on. We get back to Candace and Giselle. She tells Giselle she is the reason why people don't come forward with SA allegations. And I am glad that Candace said this to her face as well as on social media, because it shows that Candace ain't never scared. Okay? And because people try to, she ain't no thumb thug. You know what I'm saying? Like, Candace will say it on social. She will come at you in her tweets. She will come at you on the gram, but Candace will say it to your face. She ain't never scared. And, what Giselle is doing, it is very disgusting. And Candace is right. Giselle is playing with SA for a storyline. And for that, she needs to be demoted or fired. If Phaedra, if Phaedra got fired for what she did to Candy, then Giselle needs to be handed her walking papers as well. Period. Because this is the same thing. She's just trying to be a little bit more sneaky with it. Instead of coming out and saying that someone was going to drug and R somebody, you're saying I was in a room with somebody and I was uncomfortable. And that opens up, because it's so vague, you're allowing people to take it to where they want to take it. And she thinks that she'll get away with it because she wasn't specific. Well, all I said was I was uncomfortable. In order for you to be uncomfortable, something had to be done in order to make you uncomfortable, whether it was somebody's demeanor, something somebody said, something somebody did. Like, we're not going to do that.
No, like hardcore. I'm not playing that game.
And like somebody else has said, if you were just uncomfortable because you felt like you were in a room with a married man by yourself, baby, that's on you. That ain't got nothing to do with Chris, but yet you're trying to make it Chris's fault. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. They end their conversation. Candace is, in tears, but she held it together. She pulled it together really quick. She didn't have a breakdown. She pulled it together very quickly, and I was very proud of her for that. Giselle didn't give no crap. She's like, oh, I thought you wanted to see how I felt. I thought you cared about how I felt. And Candace was like, I care. But she don't care about you more than she care about her husband. And how you feel is some BS, Giselle. And she got to the bottom of that. Therefore, it's not pertinent, baby. Not when it comes to her man back at the house. We're not doing that. Okay? Giselle goes to get back onto the Sprinter and tells Robin that Ashley said that Chris was coming on to her friend and feeling on her and touching on her butt. And I'm like, who said that? Who have been saying that?
Who has been saying that? Who said that? Who said that? Who said that?
I didn't hear that get mentioned at all. And at first I was like, well, maybe they cut that footage out or something like that. And I'm like, no, because there would be no reason for them to cut that out. If it was said, it would have gotten aired. Nobody said that. Nobody said that. And this scene in of itself shows Giselle's malintent and the maliciousness of what she's doing. And getting back to the way Bravo cuts scenes, the way they cut that scene was beautiful. It was mwah. It was chef's kiss. Because first you have Candace saying Giselle is acting as if she doesn't understand the implications of what she's saying. And then cut to her being reckless at the mouth. Talking about Ashley said that Chris was filling up on her friend's butt. Giselle knows exactly what she's doing. Everything that Giselle does is premeditated. She knows what she is doing. And it also shows that Giselle is an active liar, just like Mia. She is a liar. And Bravo showed y'all clear as day that she went from that whole conversation and she did it on purpose because she was upset that Candace didn't come to her on bended knee. She didn't bend the knee, as it were. She didn't bend the knee and was like, I just want to say I'm sorry and she found uncomfortable. No, she didn't give her that. She gave her, so what's really going on? Because this is what Chris is saying and you're saying this is not adding up. She mad. Now you want to go on a Sprinter and spread more falsifications on this man. I cannot wait for the reunion, and I hope Candace lays into everybody except Wendy. Maybe a little bit into Karen, but everybody else, I hope she lays into them. I can't wait for the reunion. Baby, it's gonna be on. We move on. Next, we see Ashley meeting with the attorney.
Okay.
I wasn't really featuring this scene. I mean, I guess I don't really care for Ashley. She's trying to get the bag. She thinks she can outsmart Michael. She just needs to just stop. She wants to do it big like Candace. You not. Cause Michael is not gonna let that happen. Okay. You just need to go ahead and get a cute little 3 bedroom townhouse that you can afford on your own. And that's really it. Like, stop trying to do all of this stuff, talking about he gonna send you a proposal and all of this and all of that. The lady the lawyer done told you buying a house with this man is not a good idea unless he's gonna sign it over as a gift, which Michael is not doing. So you need to go ahead and buy what you can buy on your own. Get you a little townhouse. Get you something that you can afford to buy and also furnish. Because your children are going to need, beds and things of that nature and what have you and so on and so forth. Dressers and things and hangers to put the clothes on and all of that. Everybody's going to need things. Like, girl, you're not doing it big like that. You're not doing it big like that. And Michael was not going to let you take half of everything. You're not going to get that. You might get you a little child support. He going to give you something cute. You're not going to get what you thought you was going to get. And this whole storyline of, I'm a bisexual woman. And when Michael and I first got married, we were very open. We did this and we did that. But after I had my kids, things changed. No. No. That's not what it was. When you got with Michael, you were open to doing the freaky things that he wanted to do so that you could get in and he would give you that ring. After y'all got married and you had kids, you felt like, well, I birthed my 2 checks. I don't need to do that anymore. And so you stopped. And now that you stopped, Michael no longer has interest in you because you no longer want to share in his sexual exploits, and now you're getting a divorce. Let's call a thing a thing. We're not going to do this. Anyways, that is it on that scene for me. We move on. All right. Next, we have Mia meeting up with Charisse and her friend Jacqueline. Mia wastes no time. Immediately shades Charisse about her eyelashes while her wig in the confessional is giving Lord Farquhar. Now, don't get me wrong. At this point in the game, like, I used to love Charisse. Charisse was my girl. But I did not like her line for Robin, and I no longer see it for Charisse the way that I used to. I do like Charisse being there because she likes to fire up under Karen's butt, and she's the only one that can do that. You know what I'm saying? She's the only one that can do that. But I still don't agree with the way Karen treats Charisse because I feel like, as I said in my last video, Giselle has done a lot worse things, has said a lot worse things about Karen, and yet Karen still features Giselle. Charisse has only said one thing about Karen, and you want to avoid her like the plague. I don't agree with that. However, it is what it is. I don't really see it for Charisse right now in this moment because I don't like that she lied for Robin and then you want to go on social media and try to clean it up. And it's like, no, you lied. You had to hold Robin back. You had one hand on each shoulder. You had to get up out of your seat and you had to tell her, no, we're not going to do this. Go ahead and sit back down. You had to calm down her behavior. So it is what it is. However, it was not necessary for me to say what she said about Charisse, and I really didn't. Even though people found it funny, I didn't, because it was a cheap shot. You can't say that you like her and you love her, but then you want to throw shade. Like, that's not like, and that's not love. So again, you just lied. Like, Mia is a habitual, like, she's pathological at this point. And Mia needs to seek help. Anyways, Laura Farquhar needs help. Anyways, Mia says that she has, because Charisse asks her about her health. Mia says that she has a lump and a swollen lymph node that's not urgent to remove. Okay, girl. Mia is still using her mom as a storyline. Please stop talking about that lady and her drug habit. We're not trying to have her relapse again, and then you blame it on somebody else. And with you the one bringing it to the show. Anywho, we move on. So she is taking everyone to Miami. She thinks she's doing something because she's taking somebody to another state. Okay, girl. And it's letting Sharice, so she says, pick her own room, even though she's not a cast member. Sharice needs to be at a hotel, a motel, and or a Holiday Inn. But, I digress. Whoop de whoop. We going on a trip. There was not much to see here. We move on. Candace is going on the trip, but she's working on new Mew Mew, as Zachary Campbell would say, and so she will be late. Karen will be turning the big 5'9" on this trip, and so she's excited about that. She says she's not technically calling it a birthday trip, but it's a trip that happens to fall on her birthday, whatever, what have you. Girl, it don't matter, you going because you need to get this check. So go have fun, let your wig down, and do what you need to do to get your check. This wig and this confessional, she looks like Little Richard. This wig in his confessional is giving blonde Little Richard. And I do not like it. I like the makeup. The outfit was cute. I do not like the wig. We need a different wig. Um we move on. So they apparently the house is a 6-bedroom house, but there are 9 people. Mia says she doesn't like Wendy. Mia, so you don't like Wendy, but you like Giselle, who gave you the cancer, no cancer energy, but you don't like Wendy because she could be a bit curt at times, but you all are curt with each other. So Giselle could be curt with you and disrespectful to you, but you see it for Giselle, but not with Wendy. I wonder why. We move on. We are at Wendy's house. Her children are beautiful. They do have a beautiful family. Her and Eddie talk about the whole restaurant lounge deal. I love the way this conversation went down. I love how Eddie handled it. He wasn't trying to be over forceful, like, you're not gonna do da da da. He was just like, look, baby, you have a lot going on. You have a lot with your health. It's gonna be something else on your plate to, XYZ. And I just appreciated how, he, gave her dignity, talked to her as his equal about the conversation, but still, as the husband was like, we need to, it's too much. It's too much. And Wendy was like, yeah, and Wendy, I love how Wendy respected that and was like, it's on pause. It's on pause right now. And, I agree with you. So that was a cute moment. Then we get to the clothing store with Giselle and Robin. They're shopping for the trip. Giselle says she want to be half naked. We don't want to see that. You can keep your ankles covered up. We don't want to see that, girl. Robin's hair is terrible as per usual. I don't know if that's a wig or she slipped some tracks in, whatever it is. You said you got businesses now, Robin. You got successful businesses with the S on the end. Can you hire somebody to do your hair? Because you, ma'am, are trying to do it yourself, and it's giving struggle. And I'm going to need for you to go back in and come back out with something else, because that hair, that was not cute. We move on. Candace, or Giselle says Candace is going to have to address Chris in the tweets. No, ma'am, she's not. Ashley is going to have to address the fact that she said that Chris was all on her friend, but the footage is so something different. Ashley is going to have to address the fact that Michael is everywhere but at home with her and her children. Okay? Robin is going to have to address Juan and his situation. And also why Juan is never around. Ever. At anything. Okay? Robin's gonna have to address that. And Giselle, you're gonna have to address your lies as well. Okay? So, you're gonna have to address why Jamal wasn't even there for family photos and things of that nature. That's what you're gonna have to address. Candace, on the other hand, isn't gonna have to address anything, and neither does Chris. Okay? So we're going to leave that at that. We're going to move on. Ashley says that Michael was in the Bahamas She says that they discussed money the other day and that the LLC hasn't been made yet. Of course it hasn't. You really thought that man was just gonna buy you a house, girl? You really thought that man was just gonna buy you a house? If he was really gonna buy you a house, he would have bought you the house and gave it to you as a gift. Ain't no if he was really being genuine and generous and all of these things, he would have just bought the house like, I'm gonna just take care of you. Because I know people that have done it. I know men, husbands that have done it when they got a divorce. They're like, I'm still gonna make sure my kids and their mother are taken care of. I know people today who have been divorced for a while. Kids are dang near grown, if not grown, and they still make sure the mother of their children is taken care of. So if Michael was really that kind of guy, the house would have been bought. House would have been paid for. It would have been in your name. It would have been written down as a gift, and it wouldn't have been no problems. Michael was not that kind of guy. It's not gonna happen. So of course there's no LLC. Of course there's no LLC. Then they bring up the escort situation, and at first Ramen doesn't want to talk about it, and Ashley's like, "No, tell me everybody. That girl got here and tell me." And Ramen says that Candace told her about it years ago about the fact that Michael uses basically an escort service, and he gives services to the escort. And so Ashley says that she doesn't believe it. Yes, you do. You already knew about it. I can tell by the look on your face. You already knew about it. Girl, you knew. You knew. You weren't surprised and or shocked. You were shocked that it got brought up. You were surprised that Candace went in her back pocket and pulled it out. And I think it also gave Ashley some enlightenment that Candace knows your tea. She just chooses not to talk about it. Now Ashley has to worry about what is it that Candace knows about me, because apparently there's things that Candace knows about me, but she doesn't. She holds it in her back pocket because here's the thing, Candace is not threatened by you. So she doesn't need to get information and drop it, like a bomb, in front of people to try to make you look bad, because you make your own self look bad. Candace doesn't need to make you look bad. Candace doesn't need an aha gotcha moment. Because Candace is not vicious and malicious like that. She's not vindictive. You are. Anyways, we move on. Giselle is delusional. Giselle is delusional. She says that she thought her and Candace had a great conversation. You mean a conversation where Candace walked away in tears? Is that the conversation you're referring to? Where she was in tears and you just said, okay, I'm gonna head out. That conversation? Girl. Giselle, get over yourself. And the reason why Giselle feels like that is because Giselle is not bothered and she doesn't care about Candace. So Giselle was like, I walked away good. I don't know why. I don't know why we having beef, because I walked away fine. You callous girl. Anyways, we move on. Robin says Candace dramatized everything to Chris. Robin, you do know that this show is filmed, right? So you do know he will see the show. Therefore, Candace does not have to dramatize anything because it's being filmed. Chris is going to see it on TV.
How can you lie about something that's been filmed and aired?
Ma'am, nothing needs to be dramatized. It would make no sense for her to do that, for him to turn around and watch it on TV. It has not been dramatized. You, as well as Giselle and Ashley and Mia, don't want to hold your L's and sit in the reality of the fact of what y'all have done and how negative and malicious and vicious it actually is. Because we see it. So I know Chris is going to see it. But we have the reunion, to elaborate on that. Giselle says it's F Chris. No, Giselle, it's F you. Chris hasn't done anything to you. You're upset because Chris isn't kissing your butt. Because if y'all remember, I want to say it was last episode, she was like, I haven't heard anything from Candace or Chris. I would expect an apology by now. Apology for what? You said he didn't do anything. Was he I apologize that you weren't comfortable because you let me into your room and we were by ourselves? No, we're not. Like, no, nah, girl. No. So, bye, Giselle. We move on. The ladies are leaving for Miami. Karen gives Sharice the driest high ever. I already said how I feel about that situation. Karen, cut it out. You're being really, really, really fake. And you're being really, really ridiculous. But you can be cute in the car with Giselle. Anyways, it is what it is. So, she wants a toy. She wants a little young thing. She wants a toy. You could be cute in the car with Giselle, but you want to be dry with Sharice. Okay, girl. They get to the house. It's cute. It is very pretty. Doesn't have enough rooms, but it is very pretty. I like how they had, the food. They had the chef, all of that. That was very cute. I did appreciate that. The jerk chicken looked good. The peach cobbler shortbread was calling my name. All of that was calling me. I was here for that. Mia's friend makes a comment like, "Oh, did you want to put the chef on your plate?" Some people were saying that was alluding to Mia's not happy in her marriage. She's probably not, because I feel like she does a lot. And usually when people try to put extra stank on something, they're trying to cover what's really going on. So the fact that Mia tries to put extra stank on their sexual situation and all of that, she's trying to make it seem like she's really into G like that when she's really not. It is what it is. We get to the room situation. And so y'all remember earlier when I had said, and I don't know maybe if I did say this, but she had told Sharice that she would let Sharice choose her room. That was another lie. She chose everybody's room. And the rooms went like this. Giselle and Robin are sharing a room. They acted like they had a problem with that, but y'all always share rooms. Cut it out. And don't nobody else want to share with y'all, so y'all gonna be together, okay? Wendy and Candace are supposed to be sharing a room, we find out. But we'll see how that goes once Candace actually gets there, because she's not there yet. Karen has a room to herself, Ashley has a room to herself, and Sharice has a room to herself. But Sharice may not be staying there because Sharice doesn't actually have a bathroom. And Sharice, that's what you get, because you wanted to be in the car talking about, when people talking about the rooms, I'm not going to say nothing because I know I'm good. I know I'm good with my room, so I'm just sitting back and I'm just...
See, when you do clownery, the clown comes back to bite.
That's what you wanted to give. So now you got a room with no bathroom, and now you're looking for a hotel. Ashley decides to sneak and see where Candace is sleeping. This was very childish. I felt like just leave it alone. Why you worried about it? Like, that lets you know that Ashley is vindictive. She has it out for Candace. She is jealous of Candace, because if she wasn't worried about Candace like that, she wouldn't have been worried about where the lady was sleeping. Like, she would have been handling her business, unpacking her bags, unpacking her wigs, okay? She would have been, getting ready for the night, trying to contour that forehead and doing what she needed to do for the night. You're worrying about what Candace has going on because you have nothing going on. That's what's going on with that. And I did not like that at all. It wasn't cute. It was very childish. It was very immature. But I think that it got aired. It got put into editing, because it goes to show what kind of liar Ashley is. Because Mia asked, "Where's Candace's room card?" Oh, I don't know. Maybe Mia took it. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, it's underneath Ashley's shirt. Just lied. And I'm glad, again, going back to the editing, going back to the things, I'm very appreciative of how everything was cut, because they are showing, oh, these heifers lie. Oh, these heifers lie. Okay? So, bravo to bravo. Okay? Robin says that Wendy is the meanest person here. No, Robin, that's actually you because you were the one that was screaming at you was the one shaking the table at the winery, baby. Not Wendy. You were the one that had to be held back by Sharice because you got up out your seat. Not Wendy. Giselle is the one who's lying on people's husbands. Like we're not getting ready to do that. We're not gonna put that on Wendy. We're not gonna do that. But and Mia is the one, as we see in the next episode, who was throwing drinks and purses at Wendy. But Wendy is the meanest one here. Girl, find you something safe to do. Please find you something safe to do. Sharice wants to go ahead and get a hotel. Since she does not have her own bathroom. Okay, girl, that's fine. You know, you want to take your poops in peace. I get it. I get it. That's okay. Peter calls Mia, and Mia tells Peter that she wants to bring the ladies by Bar 1, because, you know, there's a Bar 1 in Miami. And Peter says to tell Wendy that he's got beef with her. Peter's looking for a moment. Patricia is looking for a moment. And I was starting to like Peter again. But this right here, like Peter, it's not that deep. Like, I get the frustration, but this right here, this is to involve other people in your business frustration with Wendy. That's not cute. You were looking for camera time. Cut it out. This is why Nene calls you when she calls you, and we move on. Then we see, going to that later that evening, Mia is throwing her drink at Wendy and hitting Wendy with her bag. But again, Wendy, as I said before, is the meanest person here. I want to see how Giselle, Robin, and Ashley are going to victimize Mia out of this one. It's going to be so much of Wendy was out of control. Wendy took it too far. Mia was provoked. I'm so ready for the next episode because I know that they are going to try to talk Mia out of being the villain in this situation. They're going to try to make it Wendy's fault. They're going to try to make it Wendy's fault the way they tried to make the Monique and Candace situation Candace's fault. Candace, your mouth, this and that, so on and so forth, when none of what happened with Candace was warranted. And they're going to try to do the same thing with Wendy. That's why they're trying to set Wendy up as she's the meanest person here. She's aggressive. She's this. She's that. Because the show had already been filmed, but remember, they have to go back and they have to watch that footage to do the confessionals. So they're all sitting there in these confessionals trying to paint Wendy as a villain so that when this situation between Mia and Wendy goes down, well, see, that's why, because she's so mean and she's so aggressive and this and that and so on and so forth. She's so condescending and blah, 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 blah. So that we can be like, oh, well, I can understand why. No, it's not going to happen. Not over here. Not on this channel. Not on Nikki A. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So I am ready for next episode so I can lay into everybody. I'm ready to see what's going to happen when Candace gets there. I hope Candace pays everybody dust, except Wendy, but I hope everybody else she pays them dust. Even Sharice, since Sharice wants to lie, pay everybody dust. Okay, because you are the girl. Go ahead and hook up with Trina and get your contract signed. But that is all I have for this episode. I hope y'all join me back for the next episode. If you like this video, please rate and subscribe and comment and subscribe. And I hope to see y'all back for the next episode. And yeah, y'all have a good one. Bye, y'all.